Welcome to Brainfeed magazine.
Andarki namaskaram. A very good morning to everyone. First of all, I would like to thank and congratulate Brainfeed and STEM School for organizing such kind of conclaves. These conclaves are very important. Even in the public governance, whenever a new policy is to be formulated, or when a policy or an implementation plan has to be implemented, we call for such kind of conclaves. And we, the civil servants, take them very seriously. It's an opportunity for me to share my thoughts with all of you and to learn from you. Mr. Brahma, Honorable MLC Garu, distinguished speakers who have come from Mysore, Coimbatore, etc., principals and management from this region of Andhra Pradesh, wishing you a very good morning. I would like to share certain thoughts. I am the MD and CEO of AP State Skill Development Corporation. I am proud to say that APSSDC is the largest skilling machine of the country. We are the nodal agency under Department of Skills Development and Training. We formulate and steer various skill development schemes and programs. To meet the skilled workforce requirement as per industry needs, Government of AP has established cascading skill ecosystem in the state. This is a model for the country. Not only for the country, it is a model for the world. I had the opportunity to be part of the ministerial delegation of Government of Andhra Pradesh to South Korea and Vietnam. I'll be sharing more about it in the later part of my speech, where we observe that there is no skilling ecosystem in the world. The labor department or the industry department or the information technology department, they encourage the companies to be there and they somehow do the handpicking of the staff by various kind of ad hoc mechanisms of recruiting. I don't know whether they're recruiting the right kind of students with the proper skill set, but each of them have their own ways and means to skill and recruit. But in the state of Andhra Pradesh, we have established 192 skill hubs across 175 assembly constituencies, which cater to level 1 to level 4 to 5 of the skills. National Skill Qualification Framework, NSQF, made by Government of India, talks about level 1 to level 9 of skilling programs. So level 1 to level 4 are the basic kind of skillings like electrician, plumber, data entry operator, junior software developer, like that. And we have established 26 skill colleges across 26 parliamentary constituencies. Here, the level 5 and above, level 9, these kind of skilling programs like advanced welding programs, shipbuilding programs, designing of the car, designing of the flight, aircrafts, designing of the boats and ships, these kind of programs we are running. We have 55 skill spokes in the premises of industry like Sri City, Kia Motors in Anantapuram, where the Industry Customized Skill Training Program, ICSTP, these programs are run. They are from 7 days to 3 weeks and it's custom made to the kind of employment which is there on the floor. This the Government of India has recognized as the best practice and has given a guideline for other states to implement the same. We are contemplating a skill university. We are still in the process of brainstorming. Probably we'll also have these kind of programs and we'll invite right kind of people. We want to have a university in Tirupati or in Visakhapatnam where it focuses on employment, skilling, upskilling, reskilling. Thanks to National Education Policy 2020, So far, the skilling program in the country was happening like a hobby. This is how I keep putting. So education is the main focus, and these are like your co-curricular activities like you have skilling. But now skilling has come to the forefront. Skilling is now integrated into the education. NEP speaks about relevance of vocation or skill education. Vocational or skill education is a form of education that focuses on teaching students the skills and knowledge necessary to perform a specific job role or trade. NSTF has spoken about 2,508 job roles. So when I say electrician, that's one job role. Plumber, that's one job role. Then we have food and beverage, like in the hotels, front desk manager in one job role. Likewise, we have 2,508 different job roles, and there is a curriculum, evaluation, certification mechanism prescribed for each of these job roles. While vocational education has traditionally been associated with trade and technical jobs, such as carpentry or plumbing, it can also be used to prepare students for other types of jobs, such as healthcare or business. Vocational education programs vary in their length and structure, but most include both classroom instruction and hands-on training. Classroom instruction typically covers topics such as safety, tool use, and basic theory related to trade. Hands-on training allows students to apply what they have learned in the classroom to real-world situations. In the NEP 2020, the policy has emphasized reducing the disparity between general education and vocational education. So I think this is a very key statement in the whole policy document, which has deliberately wanted to impact on people like you the importance of skilling and trying to bring all of you out of the cocoon of educating students alone. There will be no hard separation between the academics, extracurricular activity and vocational education at the school and higher education level. I am happy to say that we have already brought credit-based framework for the higher education. In the state of Andhra Pradesh, we are the first to do, much before the national education policy was contemplated and brought to force. In Andhra Pradesh, if you are an engineering student or a degree student, if you want the degree to be in your hand, you have to have the core education plus the credits which we give as part of the vocational and community service and internships. So the skilling and the vocational part I am taking care. I am proud to say that we have MOU with around 648 companies including Microsoft, IBM and all the big B's you can talk and think about. And we have certified 1.5 lakh students in higher education. But school education is a challenge for all of us. So we have now formed a committee as per the directions of our Honorable CM, Sri Jagan Mohan Reddy Garu, how to bring skilling into the school ecosystem. NEP 2020 speaks about skilling from class 6 onwards. So this is something we are also mind-boggled about. How to make probably the girl and the boy who was now anchoring this program, how can I introduce skilling to her? What is skilling for her? Is it basics of artificial intelligence, machine learning and chat GPT? So should I talk to her about what is basics of a computer? Or should I talk to him about what are the basics of tools which are used to make your home work the way it has to work? Maybe I should introduce the tool and tell that your mom is cooking today morning and there was a leak in the plumbing system, and what tool should we use? Or in the morning when she wakes up, her mother or father plays a devotional song or a prayer, and that is voice recognized by a certain device, and how does it do? Is it AI? So these are the very interesting and various intriguing areas now we are working. So sometimes I feel, I'm a doctor. Then last 3 years I spent my career in health. I was Commissioner of Secondary Health and Director of Medical Education. And suddenly when I came to skill development, I felt like I have missed so much. So I was MBBS from Rajiv Gandhi University of Health Sciences, Karnataka. My schooling was in Karnataka. Now, it's been a small gap, 7 years, I'm now 8th year in IAS. Now I am interacting with people like you, I'm going to universities, schools, and suddenly I see that it's transformed. And this domain is transforming like anything, and we have to catch up. Since Brainfeed Inc. has embarked its journey on to discuss NEP 2020 and its element with educators across the country, the element of vocational skill education is highlighted across the components of NEP. Each component I would like to briefly place before you. C3. Curtailing dropout rates and ensuring universal access to education at all levels. Vocational education allows dropout students to gain the skills required for basic employment. There is a time now, I don't know whether it is right or wrong, you have to tell. We are not telling that the student has to complete his schooling. He can drop out, and if he drops out, and again there's a vocational space, I'll put him into that, and he will gain an employable skill with the basics of being literate. This is again debated and questioned, but a lot of states are already doing it, even in the state of Andhra Pradesh. So I'm not telling that you have to drop out, but if a child drops out, I know what skilling program I should do to him. C4. Curriculum and pedagogy in school. Learning should be holistic, integrated, enjoyable and engaging. NEP 2020 has stated towards exposure towards vocational education from class 6 onwards, which we have already spoken. I had the opportunity to sit with our Honorable CM and brainstorm. So all of you would have read about 2 weeks back when the news was in the headlines. Honorable CM speaks about AI, next gen. Honorable CM called all the vice chancellors of the universities in Andhra Pradesh. So he asked me also to join. So few key IAS officers and secretaries relevant to education. And we were doing a global scan. So we did the global scan of Western world, and now recently we went to the East Asia. The jobs, we are losing the jobs. We will lose jobs and will become unemployable like this, because there was a study done by World Economic Forum. It says top 10 jobs which will disappear and the top 10 jobs which will emerge. And the whole education and skill machinery of the country is invested in the top 10 jobs which will disappear. So it was an eye-opener for me. And we made the presentation in the Honorable CMS, Vinod Kumar. So I handed over that sheet. So the next day we had a meeting with all the vice chancellors. And it was told very clear that universities, schools should, your reason for existence is to make what you teach today, tomorrow the child is benefited out of it. What is the use of investing in the top 10 jobs which are going to disappear? So how do we change and adopt and inculcate the way without to teach our students for the top 10 jobs which will come? And the top 10 jobs are all on AI, artificial intelligence. And of course, there's the basics of humanities that is definitely there, but the emerging jobs are those. In fact, there are a lot of cartoon jokes going on. It says, Monty, don't worry, your job will not go, because nobody knows what you do. I'm not talking about that. But what I'm talking about is, we are training students about mechatronics, we are giving them skilling on how to operate robots. Now, we don't need them. So I was in the various factories in Korea and Vietnam, and it's peopleless. And it's so accurate. What 10 people can do, now 2 people can do that. And what happens to the rest 8 is not that we have to be negative and say it's gone. It is modifying into some other job roles. Maybe I got educated as an MBBS doctor and I will be a doctor. That should disappear. I read this, maybe I should have an employability A, B, C, D, E. And for that, there is a way without, like basic oxygen mask. You can go up the mountain, or you can go into the water, or you can go deep the forest. And if you mold somebody in a unique way, that's where the future of our students we may not have. C5 teachers, Honorable MLC sir was speaking very clearly about that. Experts from the field will act as master instructors in various vocational subjects and promote knowledge. Upskilling the teachers. And the teachers should forget that they are teachers. They are facilitators. There was a world where probably there's Nagarjuna University, Nalanda University, where the scriptures had to be written by the master. And the scripture was a privilege and it discloses to the students if it is in a certain way. Now it is gone. Yes, everything is available online. Student can read what he wants, when he wants, and how he wants, with an experience of virtual reality and augmented reality. So automatically he will compare that with the teacher. The teacher should now probably become a facilitator. C6 equitable and inclusive education. C7 efficient resourcing and effective governance through school complex and clusters. Last 20 days I was in Korea and Vietnam. While I was preparing for my IAS exam, we used to talk about them as ASEAN Tiger Cubs. Now there are no more cubs. Now they have become full-grown adult tigers. So I went to Korea. Korea, you feel like it's a developed country. But Vietnam, the way they have changed in the last 10 to 15 years, it's a case study in the Western world universities. The way they have transformed the garment and textile education, vocational education, employment is a case study. So we went to learn about that. In Vietnam, education is compulsory. I don't know the exact way they have put the policy. I understood that as a compulsory. Why should education not be compulsory in India? We may have to think about that. All the trainings and education are skill or practical based. And they keep changing the curriculum so quickly. Now we have to sit on a lot of committees and we take time. The curriculum gets changed so quickly. In a year, the curriculum is changed. The requirements are changed. Everything is so quick in doing that. In Korea, there's a statement called Pali Pali. Pali Pali means quick in Korea. They don't believe in things which are slow, things which are time taking, things which take time in making decisions. I went to Samyuk University, Yongnam University in Korea, and the National Fisheries University of Vietnam. The universities and schools are straight away linked to the jobs. So there are 10-20 types of companies. So we went to a company called Movi. Movi is a Singaporean fish processing company. You can all Google that. They straight away have a tie-up with the National Fisheries University. And he says, what kind of curriculum, education, skilling you have to give. We are graduated there. One out of these 20 will pick them up. And they'll have a placement in their final year. We want to explore possibility of sister university. Maybe our universities should have a relationship where you can just globally scan in the market. I'll find somebody like me, like who is lean, who is sporty, who is like this, who likes traveling. Like that, all schools and universities, I think you have to do a global scan of a similarly placed university, similarly placed institution, and have an MOU with them. Otherwise, we are inside of what we think we know. Another experience and example I want to give, when I was doing my MBBS, during internship, there was a gentleman of my age. He came from UK for something called developing country externship. So 6 months they do the internship in their country, and the 6 months they do in developing countries. For that, they have an MOU with our college. So every year 1 or 2 students come there. So first he thought, he's from UK and he can teach an Indian. So he came to take a class. He was like 1 year or 2 years senior to me. When he was doing the pedagogy, in medical education there's a good set system of pedagogy. So seniors teach juniors. So we were able to answer all the questions. So he was surprised. So he took us to coffee and told, how come you know so much? I told, it's all there in our textbook. So he has given me a textbook. I gave it to him. He was surprised. I told boss, he told us, boss, why are you reading so much? Your textbook is so bulky. Now, we read this when we do MD or PhD in medicine. We are reading that in MBBS. I don't know what to do. Our university has prescribed so much, we read so much. And he asked me another question. You are reading so much, will you apply all those things after MBBS? What will you do in India? I do PG. Then better read all this in PG, na? I don't know, boss. That's what it is. So that was an eye-opener for me. In the Western world, especially a lot of things spoken about Germany, they have a dual system of education where student reads only what he needs for his real life existence. Whether we should do, I'm not saying that, I'm just throwing this question open to you. But definitely we are reading more than what is required. This I can say as an MBBS student. We used to read so much books, so like my whole hostel room, నా బట్టలకి నేను ఎక్కువ పుస్తకాలు ఉన్నాయి బట్టలు పెట్టడానికి తర్వాత ప్లేస్ అనుకుంటాను సో he told this right interesting GIZ Germany. The GIZ is a global support system of the German. So this education model has become a hit. A lot of you may also know about it. Vietnam is following that. That's a dual system that says for the quick development of the country. So Vietnam wanted to spike quickly in their trajectory of development. So for them, Germany really worked out. You have a population of 10 crore. What you want to read to become employable and turn the economy, that's it. So German, that's a hit. But it will reach our plateau after a few years. But that's worthy for all of us to look and see inside of the NEP as what we can cull out and what we can include and assimilate. Foreign languages teaching in school. It's another concept. So when I was doing my plus 1 and plus 2, I had an option of French and German in my class. I told, why French and German? Kannada, English. And Hindi was the third. Okay, anyways, we took Hindi, we had to take. But now, ladies and gentlemen, even for the officers, IAS and IFS, the government of India is saying that why don't you take one option? Hispanic, Mandarin, French, these three are global hit languages. It's worthwhile to read that. Probably our students have to read those. When I was in Seoul, so we had a lunch meeting, honorable finance minister was there. We called Indian Chamber of Commerce in Korea to join us for lunch. We wanted to see what they are doing. Major CEOs of big companies were Indians. So he was telling, sir, this is modern colonization. Now Indians, we are going and colonizing big companies and we are CFO. There's a Kupang. Kupang is the Amazon of Korea. The Kupang CFO is Indian. And he was telling, sir, మనమంతా మీటింగ్ చేసేటప్పుడు హిందీలోనే మీటింగ్ ఉంటుంది ఎందుకంటే అందరూ పెద్ద వాళ్ళు ఇండియన్సే తర్వాత కొరియన్స్ కింద వాళ్ళు పాకిస్తానీస్ వీళ్ళు ఉంటారండి సో వితౌట్ NEP our people are already there. So imagine if we implement the spirit of NEP true to his words, the initial lag will not be there. So now when we went to Yongnam University, there was a student with the basic science went to Korea because the basic science he will get 15,000 rupees salary, 20,000. There she will get 40-50,000 a year. But first few months they have to struggle. I would like to end my small speech by telling you and requesting you that Let us use NEP 2020 to make our students a global citizens who can really become a global citizen. In Kannada, there is a saying called Vishwamanava. Vishwamanava means, so from Mysore, who is from Mysore? Yeah, the famous poet called Kumempu, he says Vishwamanava means my thinking, global living. Simple living, global living. So with this, I would like to thank Honorable MLC Sir, Mr. Brainfeed and STEM School and all of you for giving me this opportunity to share a few of my thoughts, and I'm looking forward to learn from you. Thank you.